we wanted to talk about the experience. For me, definitely, it's like away fan experience because it's very much lacking in this country, like the facilities available for away fans. So, do you want to tell us again about the new rules for anybody who's unaware of them, and then your experience at the weekend?
Right, yeah. So from last weekend, from the beginning of the new phase of K League, at least in K League One, there's been an adjustment for away fans to make sure that people are wanting to travel to away games. So the rules that have come in is that around 10% of the capacity of the stadium has to be given over or made available to away fans should they need it. And those seats should be in the lower tier, either on the side or behind the goal, rather than in a corner. Because for a long time, away fans have been put in the corners of stadiums. There's been limited numbers of seats when the rest of the stadium has been half empty. So they're trying to make it more accessible for away fans and a better atmosphere, rather than having TVs zooming in on all of these empty seats around the grounds. So I was at Incheon versus Seoul at the weekend, and it was the first time Incheon have had the entire lower part of the away section in Seoul. Normally we only get the first half and then any overflow goes into the upper tier. But for the first time we had the entire expanse of the south stand, north stand, south stand.
South, yeah.
Thank you. And it was a record away crowd for Incheon. It was 4,400 and a few away fans were at the game supporting Incheon at the weekend. And it shows that if you give people like access to these tickets, then people will go, certainly for bigger games. So that was a club record capacity there. Now, if you look around the other games that were taking place at the weekend, Gangwon and Pohang both took nearly 1,000 fans to their respective games. Obviously, Pohang had a long trip up to Anyang at the weekend, which is a four and a half hour drive. Gangwon were playing in Jeonju, which again is a 4 hour drive. It's a long way. There are no direct trains. And so to take nearly 1,000 fans to those games is incredible. Bucheon, who get maybe 5 or 6,000 home fans, sold 700 away tickets for their away game at Daejeon, which again is a brilliant following for them. And I think it shows that if you give better access and you have a better view within the stadium, more people will be willing to part with their money and go to the games. Because the same as you find in England, the same as you find overseas, away games and away fans, it's much more of an atmosphere for enjoying being at the game rather than home games where people go to watch the football perhaps. So that was good overall. So my question is going to be, what do we want to see improve for fans, particularly away fans, in the league next? Andrew, I'll let you start.
Yeah, so I'm glad you said away fans because I've written about this on our website and K League United before. Like, it just really bothers me that away fans are treated in some cases are treated pretty badly in K League, and there's no reason for it. It's not like this is football in the Balkans where there's religious or historical differences between different teams and different clubs, and that could spill out into the streets around the stadium or inside the stadium itself. We're talking about K League here. So there are some stadiums, and I'm going to zone in specifically on Mukdong here, the home of Seoul Land, where the facilities just have to be better. Now, I know when you go to the World Cup Stadium, the facilities are amazing at the Seoul World Cup Stadium in the away fan section. There's loads of toilets, there's loads of places to get food and water. The queues might be long, but they are available. And the same in Suwon and the same in Jeonbuk, same in all the World Cup stadiums. In Mukdong Stadium, which is the home of Seoul Land, you have to leave the stadium altogether. If you want to get water, food, beer, whatever it is, you have to leave the stadium. And the only store that you can visit is about 500 meters away. It's an entirely different building. It also doesn't have beer for the people who actually do want to drink at the game. In order to have a beer, you have to walk about 1.5 kilometers as an away fan to go to the nearest subway station to get a can of beer, which is just unbelievable that there's no facilities, like not even to buy water in the away fan section. And I just think that if you can't provide the most basic of facilities for away fans, then you shouldn't be allowed to have away fans in that particular stand. Also, in Mukdong, as an away fan, you have to get a stamp on your hand just to go to the bathroom, because the toilets are on the exterior of the stadium for away fans. So they can also just be used by people who are walking their dogs around the stadium. It's just unbelievable stuff. Like Incheon too, like I mean, you'll know from Anyang, the away fan section in Anyang is terrible. The facilities are awful. And again, Incheon, to have that really small little shop beside the gates, it's just not big enough. There's not enough stuff there. There's not enough people working there. Again, I just think if you want people to show up and watch the games, you have to provide better facilities for them. So outside of the World Cup stadiums, I think a lot of them are not providing appropriate facilities for away fans. The last thing I wanted to say then as well, and this is one thing I've definitely written about before, I really hate seeing fans either locked out or kicked out of K-League stadiums because there's not enough seats available. Now, there have been this change that you've just been talking about, but Incheon, which is the home of Songnam, they will sell out the away fan section for some of the matches. Very, very few, but they will sell out the away fan section for some games, and yet they'll have 4 blocks of segregation between the away fans and home fans. And then away fans who want to get into the stadium but they can't, they'll buy a ticket in the home fan section, and then they get kicked out of the stadium. They get kicked out of a stadium that has unnecessarily 4 blocks of segregation. I just think if we've got to the point now, there's not enough people watching football in Korea. They should never, ever be throwing people out of a stadium. And you should never, ever have sold out sections in stadiums that are like at least 50% empty. If the away fan section is sold out, then they just have to find more room for away fans. Like, this is a league that needs more eyes on it. It needs more bums on seats. And you simply cannot be excluding people or evicting people just simply because you're not providing enough of a service that they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, and following on from that, I have seen in some grounds, I think I was in Gwangju a few years ago when they had the little training ground stadium. They had segregation in the actual stadium in the away section, but they showed some common sense in that when the Incheon Park got too full, because they were still selling tickets on the gate, and it was like unreserved seating at this point, they did at least move the cordon up and move all of the home fans over so that the away fans could sit comfortably rather than being crushed in. And there are other places where they have removed cordons. Like this year at Bucheon, for Bucheon versus Incheon, they didn't have the upper tiers open, but when it was apparent that there wasn't enough room, they did allow people to go and sit in all of those empty seats that they've got cordoned off. So it does happen on occasion. I think a few times it happened last year in K-League too. But yeah, no, I completely get what you're saying about Incheon. Like, that stadium should never be turning down people because they get about 1,000 people for home games. Stupid. Anyway, leading on from that and not wanting to pile on Eland, but I'm going to complain about Eland some more.
Do it.
My biggest bugbear. In Korea, if you're not aware, we have 2 apps to buy tickets. We have Interpark Null and we have TicketLink. And all K-League tickets are sold through this app for either home games or away games, depending on who you follow. Some teams sell their tickets with TicketLink, some teams sell their tickets with Null. It's not a big deal. You have both installed on your phone, you can get tickets. Except Eland and Daejeon Hana Citizen. Daejeon Hana Citizen require you to register with a Hana banking app, and which isn't available in English, which requires you to put in your name, residence ID, telephone number, date of birth to register, and if you have a foreign name rather than a Korean name, it is likely to reject you, as some of my friends have found out this year as well. So then that means there's no way for foreigners to actually buy tickets on an app, and when games away seats are selling out, that seems quite ridiculous. If you do successfully register on this Daejeon Hana Citizens banking app, you then just get transferred back to a TicketLink page. So why not just use the TicketLink app? It makes no sense. It's stupid. And it's just another way of locking fans out of games. Equally, Seoul Eland require you to sign up to their website, which is a very 90s idea. You sign up to the Eland website with a name, a username and a password, and then you click on buy tickets, and then it sends you back to the TicketLink app. So why not just use the TicketLink app? It makes no sense. And again, why would you want to have people registering who aren't fans of your team? You don't need to have people from all of these other clubs registering on your website just to buy tickets. Just let them use the banking, just let them use the ticket app. It makes no sense. And it's another one that will frustrate people, because if they can't register or if they don't understand that they have to register, and tickets are selling out quickly, then it's just another like hoop that you have to jump through to get tickets for a game that will be 70% empty, except the away end, for a game that you really need people to go to because you're not really selling out your stadium anyway. And it's just frustrating. Like, I understand having TicketLink or Interpark, no problem. Having one unified K-League ticket app would be brilliant, but they don't. But still, we can make it work with TicketLink and Interpark. But all of this nonsense about having to sign up for a third-party banking app because the owners of the team are a bank, ridiculous, woke nonsense. I hate it.
By the way, JUSK are another club that it requires you to visit their website. Yeah, I had awful trouble buying tickets for the playoff, the relegation promotion playoff last year. So I actually wrote an article for the website, which is how to buy football tickets in Korea, with a link to, in each of those apps that Luke was saying, the club's page. When you go onto the Jeju one, it just brings you straight onto the website. And I just tried to click on buy tickets. I know they have a game coming up against Bayern Munich soon. But as soon as you click MA Hagi buying tickets, just straight up pop-up says log in. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to log in, like, and like when I see this now, I just couldn't be bothered. I don't want to have to register with Jeju SKFC. Again, like, this is a stadium. The good thing obviously is that they never sell out their stadium either, so you can just show up on the day and buy a ticket. It's always a little bit more expensive when you buy it at the door, but it's only 2,000 or 3,000 won more expensive. You can check out the web. You can check out the article that I put up. It's just more information on how to buy tickets. But yeah, what's the story with Incheon then? So like on the app, Incheon only have away fan tickets on whichever app I went on to today.
Right.
Why is that?
To buy home ticket apps, home seats, you need to be registered as an Incheon fan. But I don't have an issue with that because you're a home fan and you're like registering once to buy tickets forever for the home sections. It's just to make sure that people who are in the home end are home fans. But for away seats, it seems unnecessary to make people register as a fan of the club. Another thing that's just...
Well,
I was going to say another thing.
Well, because I bought the Anyang ticket on that. Sorry, go on. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say the other thing that I've just realised as well is to register with Jeju or to register with Eland or to register with Daejeon Hana Citizen, you need a local telephone number and a registration ID. So foreigners who come over here to go to a few games, like we had somebody come over from China who was talking to us about Gimcheon tickets this past weekend. If he'd have been trying to go to and book tickets in advance for some of these teams, he wouldn't have been able to do it because he doesn't have a local telephone number and a local bank account. So it's just really badly thought out.